Hi guys, welcome to Life with Gaz. Now this is my first video I've posted in a little while, and the reason for that is because the fishing has been absolutely awful. I went out around 6 times in August and I only managed to catch 4 fish. I'm going to show you them, and I tried changing it up to see what I could tempt onto the hook. I even tried some new locations with some different styles as well, but unfortunately there really wasn't a lot happening. So if you want to watch this video, stick around. If not, I won't be offended. Now the first bite I got was in my second trip. It was only a tiny little bite. It was 10 yards out from the wall, but it was a fish nonetheless. And the fish I caught was a weever. Now this weaver had taken a bit of fresh worm, but unfortunately it also looked like someone stood on this fish at some point, because the webbing between the spines on its dorsal fin were all pushed down. So there's probably someone hobbling around with a bit of a sore foot for a while after getting stung by this fish. As with all weavers, unhooking again is a delicate process, and when I'm too lazy to get my forceps out of my bag, I just hold on to the bottom lip and hope that I don't get stung. And as always, as long as the water is not too rough, I always try and get them as close to the water as I can before sending them back on their way. So there's a little bit of a trek down the steps. And after another unsuccessful trip, I decided to try a different mark. So let's see how I got on trying some different techniques there. So this is a mark I'm fishing, Chatsworth Pipe. I'm going to do a bit of jigging and see what happens out there. Now as you can see, there's a bit of a trek out there. And of course, wellies not waders, ended up with a booter. Heard of bass being taken on jigs and stuff like this out of this mark, so what I thought was I'll give this a go. Now it's an extreme low water, it's 0.3 meters, so it uncovered a hell of a lot of that pipe, and I tried this pretty much 3/4 of the way out before changing tack to come back. When I'm jigging like this, every time I move to a new location, what I do is I cast in like a fan. So I'll put one up the rocks, then the next one will go out a little bit further, and the next one straight out, and then come back into the rocks on the other side. Well, that didn't work, so I decided to go back over to bait fishing. Now as this is clear water and there's rocks underneath there, I thought float fishing is a way forward. Now again with this, what I'll do is I'll start trying to cover as much ground as I can. So what I'm doing is I'm casting up the tide and then letting the tide drag that back along the rocks for me, and basically I'm using the length of line that I've got out to control how far out the float is. Now this float, I'm fishing it around about 3 feet, and I'm fishing it with a fairly small hook, a size 1, and also I'm using razor shell as well as bait. Now I've just had a tiny little bite there, but nothing was on the end of it, so what I've done is I've pulled it and to get the fish to try and chase that in, and of course, luckily for me, that worked. Now I knew when the fish had taken this because the float actually stopped moving, it started to very slowly pull under, basically as though the fish had taken the bait and stuck itself to the bottom to stop that float drifting. Now the fish that had taken that bait was a weever, so of course this one stung me as well. I did get a comment about how to stop this hurting so much from a guy called Salty Sea Dog. He left a comment on one of my previous videos. Now this was like gold dust, because he said if you squeeze it till the blood starts coming out, then it'll only hurt for about 10 minutes, and that's exactly what I did, so top marks to you, buddy. Wishing to get stung again, I went back over to the forceps. Now it's amazing how much these little fish can actually take in one go. Look at the size of the bait and how far down that hook is. And just like all the fish I catch which aren't coming home for dinner, this one went back fitting well. Now he sat in the bottom of the rocks for me for a couple of minutes, and then he shot off out back into the sandbanks. And as soon as the tide turned, you got to leg it off those rocks because it comes in quite quick here. So that was the end of that little bit of the session. Don't worry though, because I'm going to go out and go and catch some more fish somewhere else. So a few more trips, I found myself back out on the wall, and I got the first of me winter fish, a tiny little pin whiting. Now I tried all kinds of different bait patterns, various rigs as well, but this one took a very small hook, a size 2, with a single squid tentacle on it. Now you can see when I release this fish, when I go down those steps, where the tide had been. So I've been fishing for about 4 hours over high water and then back down before I'd even got that first bite. And pretty much 30 seconds after I put that fish back in and recast, I got another bite on the same rod, which meant the fish had finally turned back up. It had only taken 6 sessions, but I'd finally caught 2 fish in 1 session. And this fish managed to be the smallest smoothbone I think I've ever caught anywhere, but don't get me wrong, with the month I've been having, I was over the moon to have caught it. Just like all smoothbone, these little ones seem to kick around quite a lot, so I just hold them still just whilst they calm, so then I can get that hook out. Now this fish had taken a bit of worm with a squid tentacle underneath it. This is usually a bait I use for plaice, not smoothbone, but it done the trick today. And just like the whiting, this little fish got walked all the way down them steps and released safely. Well, thanks for watching all the way out to the end. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and also check out either a video or my playlist that I'm posting here.